Hello everyone. This is Jaiko here, and welcome to my thoughts video for the Forgotten City. Now, before I start, I just want to make a full disclaimer here. If you watch my entire Let's Play series, you guys will notice that I did not beat the game. Right? I've only unlocked one out of the four endings, which is ending number 2 to be exact. And I thought about replaying the game to get the good ending first before making this video. But I managed to catch Ko play this game shortly after I finished playing this game. He did go for the good ending, so I do know how to get the good ending. I do know what the good ending is, and I know what the plot twists that the developers are trying to hide. So, that counts for something. So I do know what the good ending is. I do know how the story unfolds, and I feel like I've got enough information to, put my thoughts on how the game was. And oh, by the way, so I didn't do any cutting in my Let's Play series. Mainly is because the parts that the developer wants to hide, which is the White Hall, I actually never got there. Right? If you don't go for the good ending, you never will reach to the White Hall. So my entire playthrough is there. You guys can all check it out if you haven't already. Yeah, and with that out of the way, let me just drink some water and we can proceed. Now, for a game like Forgotten City, you can't really talk about it or review it without really talking about the story. Now, I'm going to avoid any spoilers or any plot twists throughout the game. I'm sure there's a few throughout my Let's Play series, but I want to give like a quick rundown of, the high-level story of it. And none of this should be a spoiler, because all of these is what you would have gone if you watched the trailers that were put out by the developers. So, in a super quick rundown, you are the protagonist, ushered to check out some ancient Roman ruins. You fell through a trapdoor, and bam, suddenly you found yourself time traveled 2,000 years back into this Roman city. What you found out afterwards was this city was cursed by what's called the Golden Rule. Now, what the Golden Rule is anyone who lives in the city, if they commit a crime, everyone will die, right? How simple, right? And then how you die was basically these gold statues comes alive and shoots arrows at you. And if you die by those gold statues' arrows, you yourself turn into gold, right? That's quite horrific. I don't call it horrific, but quite a way to go, I suppose. And that's the story, right? That's the whole entire story, and what you do as the protagonist is to try to save the city, right? Do something so that you can break this curse, or if not break the curse, at least like get people out of the city, whatever you choose to do so. Hence, the multi-ending, right? And when it comes down to the story in and of itself, I don't really have a huge opinion about it. Overall, it's a pretty interesting story. I personally have never played a game who use this story, right? Not that I play like tons and tons and tons of games, but for me personally, I've never heard of any story using or talks about the Golden Rule at all. Or any story that's based heavily in ancient Roman Greek philosophies, for that matter. So it's a pretty refreshing story, pretty refreshing idea. Then for the characters though, I feel each character is a little unrealistic. Generally, every character is super open to you and super transparent to you. You can ask anyone anything and they'll just give you like a entire essay of their thoughts and feelings. But I found that that is like the same problem I personally have with every open world RPG, right? Like for example, like Fallout and Skyrim, like why does everyone you talk to, they want to share so much with you, a random stranger that they just met, a couple of minutes ago? Like it doesn't make any sense to me a little bit, right? Almost. But anyhow, that I suppose that's how you drive the narrative forward. If no one talks to you, then the story is not going to go anywhere. So, I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, it's all within expectation, so I'm not disappointed. Now, one thing that I think this game does really, really, really freaking well is how they deliver the story, right? How they deliver this multi-branch storytelling system that they have developed, right? So this game is somewhat similar to Disco Elysium, right? Where it's a multi-branch adventure game. At least that's how I like to call it. In traditional adventure games, they always present to you one puzzle at a time. You solve that puzzle, you get to go to the next map, where you're confronted with another puzzle, and you keep on, bootstrapping forward by solving puzzle by puzzle, right? But in this, multi-branch adventure game, there is no order, right? It's completely open. You can talk to all the inhabitants in the city in any order. You can do the quests and tasks in any order. So anyone who plays this game would experience the game differently, right? Because it depends on where your interest is. Who do you want to help first? What do you want to investigate? So I think that's pretty interesting. And so I guess to put it another way is, multi-branch storytelling, if you guys don't know, is extremely complicated, right? It really is. If you talked, I remember a long time ago, I was the developers for Oxenfree. Sorry, it's Oxenfree. They were talking about how, whenever you have a dialogue and you have a different response and you have a different choice, the choices and the programming blows way out of disproportion, like exponentially harder, right? The more choices you give. And the fact that this game was able to do it so seemingly well, it's a great feat for sure. And the best part is that it works, right? Like I've experienced quite a few bugs in this game. They're all graphics bugs though, right? Sometimes, the NPC disappears. Sometimes a wall appears in front of my NPC. Sometimes a wall is missing. But never had I experienced a bug when it comes to dialogue or storytelling, right? Like every time I completed something in the story, the entire dialogue for every character changes, right? To reflect what my protagonist has done within the game. And I thought that's amazing, right? It's great. It's very well done programming, very well done storytelling for that matter too. And I think this is what the game shines the most, right? This multi-branching storytelling, written very well, implemented very well. I personally is a big fan of it. And I'm gonna give like the storytelling or the programming effort, I mean, I would say a 9, like 9.5 up there. Now I do have two caveats about this game though, right? And the first caveat is the more technical aspect of it. Generally for me, I don't like to nitpick on programming or bugs from a small developer. But I just got to say that the climbing in this game sucks, right? It's, like for example, it's very unclear if my character is actually climbing over a ledge or are they just, walking up a step, right? And every time when I'm climbing up a ledge, it just feels like my character floats up, right? Like there's no struggle at all. There's no acknowledgement about if I'm climbing or not. My character, at least in my character's perspective, he just floats up to the ledge. And if you watch my Let's Play video, I actually got stuck at one part for about 10 minutes, right? Because I couldn't figure out how the ledge works, right? Like the collision block wasn't registering my character to climb over the ledge. It just thinks that I want to jump at the ledge, which kind of frustrated me for a good 10 minutes. I forgot which part it is, but it's there somewhere. So what I would suggest would be, perhaps if they do a climbing, like if they're climbing a ledge, maybe they can program a little bit more behind it. Like for example, have the character, press their hands or press their arms on the ledge and, force themselves up the ledge. So at least as a player, I get some visual idea that, oh, hey, yeah, my character is climbing now. And if they don't want to do hands, then, at least shake the camera a little bit as you are going up the ledge, showing that the character is struggling a little bit. So again, it's just to give me as a player some feedback that, okay, this is happening right now. I'm not just crazy and, jumping onto a ledge that I cannot climb. And the last thing that I had to that my caveat with this game. Now, this has nothing to do with the game itself. It's more like the marketing aspect of it. Is I feel I got cheated by a bait and switch by this game. Now, I can't believe that in this day and age, I still have to talk about, that a game bait and switch me. Right? I feel like this hasn't happened for a very, very long time, since like, I don't know, maybe back in the Nintendo days. And so what am I talking about, right? So first of all, let me explain this. So if you guys watch all of the trailers, or at least the first few trailers that the developers put out, you'll notice that all their trailers is promoting the golden bow, right? Oh, you snatch the golden bow. Now we can use the golden bow to fight monsters by shooting arrows and turning them into gold. You can turn objects into gold and then solve puzzles, reach places that you otherwise cannot without the bow. So when I saw the first few trailers of this game, my idea was, oh, so this game is a semi-action and puzzle game then, right? With, some sort of Roman or ancient Rome themed storyline. But that's not the game at all, right? As I said, this game is a multi-branch adventure game. The time that you get to use the golden bow to fight monsters or solve puzzles, quite honestly, it's probably less than an hour of my 6-hour playthrough. And let's just say watching Ko's playthrough, that rate does not change either. So basically the trailers are false, right? Like the first few trailers that they release, it's a false impression of what the game is delivering. It's only after when I, boot up the game, start playing it, that I realize that it is an adventure game. Now, the developers are lucky, right? The developers are lucky that they delivered a really, really darn good adventure game. And I personally like adventure games too. So I kind of, didn't get mad at them for this whole bait and switch marketing. But I can imagine if someone who's not interested in adventure games to be angry, and I don't blame them. Well, I wouldn't call it dishonest, but it definitely misrepresent what the experience is. And so that's all I want to say about this game, right? Like, I mean, the game story is refreshing, it's great, it's good. The multi-branching storytelling, perfectly executed. I would recommend this game for anyone who likes adventure games. No, and then that's it. I mean, mechanic parts, again, very small minor issue, perhaps. still bugs me a little bit, which is why I made a mention about it. And if you listen to my review right now, you'll know that this is not an action and a puzzle game, so you wouldn't get, tricked by the whole bait and switch of the marketing. So that should not be a problem. So the game itself, completely recommend to people who likes adventure games. I would, if I have to give a score for this game, I would give it I'm gonna give it a 9. All right, and I think it's a yeah, no, you know what? It sounds about right. I think 9 sounds about right. I didn't really think about what I would give it before I started recording this video. 9 sounds right. So, again, like, if you guys are interested in adventure games, please check this game out. Strongly recommended. And that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.